Welcome to
Someone motivate me.
the
Give
Copium
me a motivating pep talk to talk about the NFC North.
Okay, I got you. Doug Dimmadome of the Dimsdale Dimmadome wants you to do your best job right now.
Jonah, give me a better pep talk.
It'll be a short episode.
It won't be.
Also, Drew, think of it like this. At least you're not talking about the Cowboys.
I'd rather talk about the Cowboys. That's what fucking hurts right now, Jake. I'd rather talk
You
about
were
the
getting
Cowboys.
closer?
Huh?
Oh, no.
I'd rather talk about the Cowboys in this fucking shitty, unimportant division.
This is the most important division in football.
Welcome. What episode is this? 6. Welcome to episode 6 of the Copium Take.
The greatest division. I mean, hey, all I'm saying is I think the Norths are the two best divisions. I mean, we talked about the AFC North and how goated they are with kickers. The NFC North has something in there. I'm sure that it's goated at. It might be goated at bad teams.
I'm sorry, NFC North. I'm sorry, you fans of the NFC North. I just can't do it.
Actually, we've decided we'll just skip it.
We could, you know what we could do? You know what we could actually do?
What?
We could just have an episode on Friday, and then just have these teams already assigned on the tier list, and then just
that would be
have
so
an episode,
fucking
but not
funny.
actually do it.
Maybe we do that.
That's
Well,
so
we
funny.
uploaded it, didn't we? I swear we uploaded it.
Yeah, it would.
It's
That would be
right
like,
there.
check out this episode. But
Like,
then they
dude,
look and
what do you mean?
it's just this like 2-minute intro.
What do you mean? Clearly, we already did the NFC North. How else did they get on the tier list?
Yeah. Well, I'm your host Drew. I'm here with Jake and Jonah. They didn't get a shot today. Same old gig.
Wait, which one of us is which again?
Doesn't matter.
Sure.
We're all gray faces, baby. Gray
Whoa.
face TikTok stars. Check out
Is
our
that-
TikTok if you haven't seen it yet.
That seems a little inappropriate.
What?
Like gray faces. I'm sure there's some context there where that could be seen as
That's what Mike Tomlin always says.
well. He's not a great example. He's as bad as anyone.
That's true. He tripped Jacobs that one time.
Yeah, I mean,
He didn't mean to. He said he was looking at the.
He could be compared with that Germany guy.
Whoa. I don't think so.
Wait, which Germany guy do you think I'm talking?
I don't know. But let's roll into the news here. We're going to start with a little news before we get into the sad NFC North. And we're going to start with some
sad news.
Sad news. NBA great Bill Russell passed away at 88. Sad.
Rip to the goat.
11-time
Okay,
champ.
he's not-
He was a big star early on in the NBA. I mean,
If I remember, most winningest player of all time, correct?
championship-wise.
I know championship-wise. I think there's a chance he might have been like win percentage or something as well. I'm not positive on that. I just thought I might have seen that.
I mean, that wouldn't surprise me if he had the highest winning percentage.
Yeah.
Been around for... God, I feel like he's been around forever. It's be sad seeing him next year, like not seeing him at the finals next year, but...
Oh, and seeing like the funds, like him messing with Charles Barkley in that one video that's been going around. I mean, he has a bunch of great videos from over the years of like just him having fun at NBA events.
Yeah, he's a legend. He really, I mean, like, honestly and truthfully, really started the NBA and like allowed the NBA to like become what it was when Bird and Magic kind of took over and made the NBA into what everyone knows it as today. He was like laying the groundwork for those guys to take the torch and run with it. So sad to see him go, but City went away peacefully. So I mean, nothing else you can wish for at the end of the day. But
Yeah, he was a really, really good person. Great off the court too.
yeah,
Serious activist.
sad note to start, but we'll keep rolling. We'll switch back over
Even
NFL. To some more
Okay.
happy news. Somebody got paid. Deebo got paid. Woo!
Did he get paid less than Metcalf?
By like
0.1
yeah.
less guaranteed. Metcalf is 58.2 guaranteed. He's 58.1. I don't know about total. I don't know what the breakdown is there.
And if Deebo doesn't think that 0.1 is fair, then I'll take Metcalf's 0.1 over and I'll put it in my bank account.
Yeah.
So everyone's
It's
even.
kind of crazy looking at like the big receivers that all moved around or whatever, or not really moved around, but got re-signed, and like so many of them got almost the same contract. I think like AJ Brown alluded to it.
That's
He was
what-
like,
Yeah, that's what he tweeted.
Yeah.
He tweeted.
Is
It
it-
was kind of
now,
a
I
diss on the
forget
Titans.
who was the fourth person he was talking about? That's the one I couldn't figure out.
Was it McLaurin?
McCloy, yeah, that's who it is. Isn't it? That makes sense. Because I was like, who is he talking about? I was like, okay, DK, Deebo, him. I was like, who else? Because I was like, obviously he's not talking about Devontae or Tyreek. So I was like, who is he talking about? Wait, McCloy.
Yeah, I mean, Debo's definitely like the most. Out of all of those four, want to have Debo the most. I think we probably all agree on
Well,
there.
especially as an overall team guy, I think.
Yeah,
Because he can just do so much.
and he got paid, and we'll see what him and Trey Lance can do this year. We haven't done our NFC.
Oh,
We haven't done NFC West yet, so
yeah.
Yeah, now that he's got a running back at quarterback, he doesn't have to run as much.
Oh, whoa.
Whoa, Jonah, that's toxic, Jonah. You need to save those spicy, mean, rude takes for when we do the division.
Lamar is the only running back playing quarterback in this NFL, sir.
Jonah, you need to relax. I don't want Derek Carr, Jonah, back again.
Oh, no.
You need to put him away.
The world can't handle that,
He
Jonah.
can't. All right, let's keep going. We're big.
This is what I thought was going to be the next thing. So that's why I was like, oh, sad news.
No. Deshaun Watson well, let's not say that. Let's read what the headline says. Deshaun Watson was suspended 6 games, not fined.
Process.
So what do we
Yes.
think? What do we think?
This
Jake?
is an embarrassment
Go.
on the league.
Oh, I agree honestly.
I mean, I told y'all I was going to slightly be a devil's advocate on this
Well,
one.
I'll say before you get into it, you did call this. You did.
I did.
Let's give Jake some credit back on the. Well, I don't even know. I guess it had
That
to
was
be the
early.
AFC
I mean,
North.
it was
It had to
either.
It had to
He
be
might have been. We
Yeah.
might have talked about it
Yeah.
before then, though. I'm
Nah.
trying to
No,
remember.
it was the North
Was
one.
it that? All right.
It was it was on the
Yeah,
AFC
I've
North
been
call.
saying it to a hot minute.
We were
I was like,
surprisingly
is he
on
gonna-
topic at the time.
I've been telling people this in person too, and they were like, "You're dumb. There's not a chance." And I was just like, "I don't trust them."
I didn't want to believe it because this is embarrassing.
Well,
Yeah.
again though, it's not the NFL. Like they didn't make this final decision.
No, but you're gonna have a hard time on their end appealing this. One, because the NFLPA was smart and they called on the NFL to respect the decision, and they would too in advance because they kind of had a feeling it was going to go their way a bit. Two, and not that this necessarily meant, but a woman judge who sat there and reviewed what the NFL considered the 5 most egregious cases. Like, if the NFL felt like other cases were in there that showed more, they needed to submit them, but they picked their 5 that they felt gave their argument the best. And after she reviewed them, she was like, yo, really, the only thing I can see is that he put y'all's image.
Yeah, I mean,
Now,
I mean, there was the clause that mandates that all of any massages he ever gets have to be with
That's-
team facility.
yeah, that I think is the most like
Incriminating.
that's the most incriminating on Watson's side is like the need to include that on her end. But like I was saying, to play the slight devil's advocate on this mainly just because I can at least understand it from the logical standpoint. Like she's looking at it and like there's just not a lot to go on. I know what everyone's gonna say, like past suspensions all these guys have gone through. But one, we've seen that they've always been super loose early on. Really, the only time they've done anything is backlash. And then with the restriction of Calvin Ridley, who they instantly slapped. But because, like we know, they care more about their image than anything else.
yeah, I think that's
This is
like
what's
the most
baffling because this
jarring
hurts their
thing.
image so bad.
Yeah, but
That
I
this
can
guy
at
gets
least-
all these accusations and then he gets out of the team he doesn't want to be on anymore and then instantly gets a fully guaranteed contract for what was it, 230 million?
Yeah, I mean that image isn't good, and that's what the 6-game suspension is essentially for. It's for that. It's not even for the other stuff because she was like, there's just not really anything I can do that. Now that's where I think it's weird that she threw in the hey, you gotta not see private masseuses anymore. Masseuse, is that the right type of term? It's just interesting to me because like on the legal side of it, I get like she's saying like I don't really know how I can charge him with any of this.
Yeah, and apparently too, she was really. I mean, that was something that came out. They came out like a week or two ago, and then it came out
Or
again
did he
today. How
pass
she
without,
was not happy about how the NFL handled like the whole
Yeah.
process. So, I mean, I'd
Yeah.
be curious. It'd be interesting to see like how this would have gone down with like a civil. I mean, it would never been a civil case, but it'd been interesting to see like with a
Well,
jury what might have happened.
Also, if the NFLPA and the NFL didn't come to agreements to start using judges for this stuff,
Yeah.
like if the NFL was just
Yeah,
doing this
if
on their
Goodell
own, like
still
in the
had
past.
like unanimous control over it.
Yeah, because like that was the whole thing with Ray Rice is like everyone kind of forgets, but like he got suspended the 2 games, and there was the outlash, and this is before they had this thing where they worked with the judges, so he suspended him indefinitely. The reason Ray Rice got approved to come back in the league, if I remember, he never actually played again. But Ray Rice got his thing just lifted at like the end of that year, or whatever, because he countersued and he was like, "Yo, how can y'all suspend me indefinitely for this when you initially gave me a 2 game? You guys had all the info." You guys had the video, you had everything, and then when it released public, you changed it, and he won the case because that was the time a judge got involved, and they were like, I think it was a she again, I'm not positive, but they were like, yeah, we don't really have any ground, you don't have any grounds to actually raise the suspension, so I'm gonna have to rule it void at this point.
They do tend to be female judges for some reason.
Yeah,
The judge who did the Zeke case or the independent arbiter was a woman.
yeah.
Okay. What's I mean, do we want to I mean, does anyone want to re-rank them? And we probably should. It's only 6 games now instead of. I mean, I know me
I
and Joe
mean,
were assuming a whole year. I know maybe you, Jake, were. I don't know.
yeah, I mean, I had them higher. If I remember right, I had them in playoff hopeful, and it was for this exact reason. I said, "Look, I think he's going to be out somewhere from." I think I said 6, maybe I said 4 to 8. I don't know exactly what I said, but I was like, "I think they're going to have him for a decent bit." So I'm pretty sure I put them in playoff hopeful, and then I think I said if he got nothing, it's playoff team. I might have even put them in playoff team if it was 6. I don't remember exactly. I remember being somewhere from playoff team to playoff hopeful. I could be talking to either. I think
Yeah, for the
because it's
time
not like
being,
they
I would
have.
be willing to throw him up in the playoff hopeful now.
I believe in the episode that I said even with Deshaun Watson coming back, any suspension amount leaves them as outside looking in. I
Yeah, I
don't
think
think I don't think see he had amazing stats his last year with the Texans, but they were terrible. They were 4-12 his last year there, and he had almost 5,000 yards. It just wasn't enough. And he's just not. I don't know. He just doesn't win right now. It's a new
yeah.
team. Like it's weird weapons.
And
Uh,
I
How
feel like
many
I still have
how
him
many
outside looking in.
wins? How many wins
They're
do you
gonna be
think they
third.
have
They're
to
gonna be
get?
third in their. They're gonna be third in their division, and I just don't think that's good enough to win to make even a wild card.
wow, the
Well,
Bengals gonna be last, and we're gonna be first. The Steelers.
I mean, I already said I think what was it? Steelers are gonna get the first overall pick.
That'd be pretty lit. And win the Super Bowl? How do we pull that shit off?
you traded with the
The Cowboys?
Bucks at the start of the
Oh, you're
season.
right. You're right. You're right.
Tom Brady decides he actually isn't unretiring like
Well,
week
Jake, we
one.
can we can overrule Jonah and throw him playoff
Yeah, I
hopeful.
mean, I think they should at least be in playoff hopeful. Like,
To be
you
honest.
can't tell, like, that roster is talented enough that you would think they should compete. Also, and I know we're not doing this a ton, but because they tweeted this when they talked about his suspension, I mean, in those first 6 weeks, they get to play the Panthers, Jets, and Falcons for 3 of those games.
Yeah, they could maybe pull off a win or two
So,
there.
like, they could easily come in. I think I would almost safely bet they come in with 2 wins, and I think they could easily pull away with 3. Also, depending on how the Steelers are, they play you guys week 3, which
Easy
I would
dub.
think you guys win that, but it's not like you guys are coming out there with an offense that's been working together forever either. I mean, you have a new QB. You guys could be equally
What do you
struggling
mean?
on
Big Ben's
offense
running it
early
back.
on.
You didn't see
Ooh.
him running the camp?
I think you already said you don't want that to happen.
That
You're
was
starting, weren't you starting
He
to
got scared
realize
of
that
being
you think there was a
overshadowed by
little.
Frank Gore and Andrew Whitworth
that
at
was an
Canton.
idiot,
He
Drew.
skipped the year.
No, that was you guys with your dumb takes.
That was what am I about to get blame again? First the Vrabel thing, now this. I said nothing negative about Big Ben during
No,
that.
that's bullshit. We'll go back after this pod, and you were chiming in with your he's gonna get overshadowed by those guys.
No,
You
I
you
just
were
said I
joining
just
in on the
said
joke. I hope it was a
all
joke.
all I said was there's a chance you're gonna have a great running back, a great lineman, and then what I said is the greatest tight end of all time will also be in that class. That's all I said. I didn't say he was gonna get overshadowed at all because
Oh
I
yeah,
think
you're
your
right.
point rings true that Big Ben is Big Ben and he's the biggest QB in steel for the Steelers in the past
No,
20
don't
plus
bring that
years
up. Jonah will
easily.
get mad.
I know. But and the fact that it's just so close to you guys, like it's just gonna be a bigger deal. Um I just think it's a crazy class to think about because Big Ben in terms of his position, could potentially be the fourth most relevant. But I still think he's going to have the most hype of probably any of them.
The most relevant. There's a chance that like.
I'm saying
What?
within their position.
There's even a
I'm
chance
saying
that.
like,
All right, let's get. Let's move to the NFC North.
Says this.
yeah.
There's no way Andrew Whitworth might not even be a first ballot Hall of Famer.
That would be shocking to me, but I mean, yeah, I guess good enough.
For a
What I'm saying,
lineman?
what I was saying is, if you're talking in history of guy, like Whitworth is going to rank very high amongst tackles all time. Maybe not top 10, but probably hovering. Frank Gore is probably going to rank roughly around there, and Gronk will probably be the greatest tight end of all time. Going. Big Ben is probably going to be somewhere around that 15. That's all I was saying, and I'm saying that's not even necessarily.
You said
I'm just saying,
50, right? 50.
nah,
Jonah.
come on.
Jonah, don't piss me off.
We don't get-
I'm not in the fucking mood.
15 may be generous to Big Ben, but also those other ones.
50,
generous
Jonah?
to those other guys.
Jonah,
But that
He's
was
not even the
arguable.
best Steeler in team history.
that's
I
like
think-
literally
I think
just
it's
not.
arguable.
It's not even true. It's
I
like
think it's arguable.
statistically, it's not even true. Let's move to the NFC North.
As many
Jonah's
rings.
fucking trying to incite
Oh,
rage in me
why
right
we
now. and
why
I'm
we
not
drag
having it.
that on so long? Also, how do we get to that from what?
It's
Wait,
Jonah.
good job.
It's always Jonah.
Yeah, Jonah wanted to.
Jonah likes
Jonah wanted to get you a little upset.
Jonah likes throwing the Steelers on the bus.
Jonah, we already knew he was on a short leash today. Why?
I'm fucking tired, bro. Now I have
Yeah.
to talk about this boring division. I mean, the Bears.
Whoa, what? The most exciting
Hey,
division.
great
in
intro. Let's get to talking about the Bears.
Who'd the Bears lose? The Red Rocket.
Everyone.
Red Rifle.
Everyone and somehow nobody at the same time because that's how they work.
I thought his nickname was the Red Rocket.
I thought his nickname was
No.
not starting.
He made for the Saints.
Nope.
Okay. They lose Big Dick Nick.
That's probably going to hurt them the most because if they get into the playoffs, I mean, you just start starting it, right? At this point.
Yeah. They lose Tariq Cohen, which is, man, he was so good his rookie year, and he's just injuries have just done him in. He was the guy, right? He was the guy on the Instagram video that like, got hurt.
Yeah.
Coming back doing this game, and I forget what it was. I think he popped his Achilles, if I'm right.
Yeah, I think that's what it was, which is really not good.
Oh, I thought you were talking about the Kyle Long video.
No.
Tariq Cohen just training. Yeah, it was a rough one. It was just sad watching that. 'cause,
Yeah,
like,
it was.
You know, he has a crazy story too. If anyone doesn't know it, you should go look at it. I mean, but he had a crazy story. He got to the league from basically nothing, just a terrible life growing up, and then just injuries basically kills it. It's just sad.
Yeah. Who else they lose? Damian Williams. He's
Honestly, there's a whole list there that I feel like you can just mention but practically skip until Allen.
Well, I mean, let's go down here to Allen Robinson. I mean, that's
what I'm
definitely their
saying.
biggest loss.
Second base.
Second biggest.
Yeah,
Well, yeah, I
correct.
guess technically. Not Jonah. I think Jonah would argue.
Yeah, Jonah would just.
And it's the third most important loss.
Third. You're right.
Oh,
Jonah.
wait, are you saying
Jesse
Allen's the
James.
third? Are you saying Allen's third, Jonah?
No. I mean,
What are you saying,
yes,
Williams?
yes. Realistically, yes. I would say.
Yeah,
Allen.
I think he is probably third because I also think Akeem.
I think Akeem Hicks is more important. Allen Robinson last year just. I don't know if it was just
Booty.
he was so mad with the team that he just didn't care to play well or what, but it was a rough season.
Dude, I mean, it was their offense. I don't know what it was. Well, I mean, they won great offense. But also, like, him and Justin seemed to have zero connection. And then the few times something happened, I felt like he dropped more than he has ever dropped.
I'm very curious. That's the only interesting. Jumping a little bit ahead. The only interesting thing this year for me for the Bears at all is who is Justin Fields? Like, what is he gonna do?
Does he bring more to the table?
Like, was it Allen Robinson legitimately? And honestly, if it was, I mean, I don't know how that really gets fixed.
I mean, I don't think it was Allen Robinson. I think it was a
okay.
combination of them just not being very good.
I think it
But
was
that
a
doesn't mean
combination of Allen
doesn't mean
Robinson.
Justin can't have a big jump.
I just don't think Allen Robinson cared about the Bears anymore. I think he was just done, like Jonah just said. And I just don't think Justin Fields is that good. So I think that combination just made a really bad offense.
I'll be intrigued though. Justin. I mean, to me, this sophomore year I think is typically the biggest.
I didn't even know the Bears had Jason Peters. Is that a different Jason Peters? Or is that the Jason Peters?
It is the Jason Peters.
Yeah, that's him.
What the heck?
Dude, 19 years. Dude, I don't know how some of these linemen do it.
That's what I'm saying. But I mean, you
Jimmy
keep going
Graham,
down,
Jesse
losing Jay
Graham.
Graham, Jesse. They just lose all their tight ends, which is weird.
Yeah.
They lose
The,
James
the craziest
Daniels
thing
to
about
us.
that is that Jace Peters played 15 games.
That is wild. Good for him. They lose James Daniels, who was like pretty good for them at guard. I'm happy we got him, but that's about it. Okay, and then the defensive stuff that we mentioned
Yeah.
already.
Hicks, Khalil.
And like
Honestly,
honestly,
the defense, I mean, Bruce Irvin, Alec Ogletree, Danny I forget
Trevathan.
how to say yeah, I always forget how to say his name. I always want to say it like Leviathan,
dude, Artie
but with
Burns is
but
still
it's
kicking around.
but like all those guys, really this whole defense, everyone they lost is like a name I recognize on the defense, separate from
But
Nichols.
that's true, and it's weird because half of them aren't even on rosters.
Yeah. But you know what I'm saying? Like I
Maybe it's not
recognize
half,
every
but
single one of these dudes and like know who they are, and I'm like, man, these guys are solid players. Nichols is really the only one I don't recognize off the top of my head.
The Bears are just in the middle of such a fat rebuild that like,
Yeah.
Khalil Mack is a big loss just because he's really good. But like honestly, don't feel like it hurts the Bears that much. And I think Akeem Hicks, though he was good, I think he's been falling off. I like Akeem Hicks still, but I don't think he's as good as. I don't even. He's like he just feels like he's in those like waning years of like what's his name? It's the same plays the same position. Was on the Raiders last year, and we were surprised he was off of them. Fuck.
Yeah.
Let me find out who it was. Oop. Damn. Anybody else to talk about though? Me too. This is gonna bug me if I don't find who this is. You guys gotta fill it
no,
in.
I mean,
Oh, Gerald McCoy. That's who it was. They just feel like Gerald McCoy's a little bit further into the process, but I feel like Akeem Hicks is entering that process, that zone of like a nose tackle that just jumps around, and I don't know. But it seemed like you guys didn't agree with that take maybe as much.
I mean, it's true. He is not in his prime anymore, but I still think he's very good.
All right. Sorry, this kind of just blew me away. Did you scroll down to the bottom of the Bears loss real quick?
Were there departures?
Yeah. So that Deshaun Gibson. So
Deshaun Gibson.
whatever, but I was looking at their depth chart while we were also going over this. Did you know they had on the D line a guy who's supposed to start with them, same last name, but the first name's Travis, and they're not related?
I mean, Gibson's not a crazy obscure.
I feel like it's a pretty unique last name.
Gibson?
Yeah, but it's with a P.
I guess.
I don't know. That maybe I'm tripping. I feel like that last name's more unique.
I mean, it's not like someone's running well. There's two Simeons or whatever, or two Pringles.
Yeah.
All right, let's get to.
If we get another non-related Pringle, then that's
like I said, that was just weird.
We're moving to these fucking Bears. I don't give a fuck.
Yeah.
Trevor Simeon gets signed. Who cares? Jake talking about you're one.
Nathan Peterman, let's go. The dream. He's still thriving in the NFL. I mean, everywhere he's been has just been an absolute success story for the programs. I mean, Bertram Trail Bay out of high
I think
school.
he's there as anything other than a camp arm for the defense.
Oh, I bet you. All jokes aside, I bet he is actually a great scout team quarterback.
I'm surprised he's still kicking around that now that Gruden's on the league.
Well, that's what I'm saying. I imagine he's probably a great scout team quarterback. Because like the dude's, he's a first guy in, last guy out kind of guy, Drew. You know,
coach's son.
Yeah. I mean,
Lunch pail guy.
About. Yeah, so I mean,
coach's
all
son?
of that. So I imagine for scout team's sake, he is. I don't think he's actually a coach's son. I don't think. Maybe I'm wrong about that. But all jokes aside, he probably is a scout.
And then we enter the receiver pickups, and it's just like B to C receiver after B to C receiver.
Well, and apparently N'Keal Harry has been struggling in camp. Like dropping balls left and right.
That's so funny. I mean, he got drafted what, 29th or something by the Patriots, and he's struggled in every camp he's been in since he got into the league.
So sad. Wonder what it
is. He got shipped for a 7th. I mean, apparently just his bad hands. Is he Arizona? Is that right?
I believe so.
Yes. Arizona
State.
Oh, Arizona State.
Jake's like, he's a beast.
He's amazing.
But yeah, I mean, everybody else is just like, they pick Pringle up. Like, it's just B receiver C receivers. I mean, I really don't have
The,
anything to
It
say
looks like
about
it's a
those
bunch of
guys.
guys who like had potential and just never showed
the
up.
only one
Like
that's
Taji
interesting to
Sharp's
me
on there.
is Pringle.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think Pringle could potentially, like, as a two, letting Pringle be in an offense, like, actually having a role in an offense instead of being like a gimmick, like, hey, when this guy it just happens when it happens type thing. I'll be intrigued to see it. I mean, St. Brown's had some flashes too, but not, I'm not expecting much from them. I mean, also they're the Bears, so I'm not expecting much from any of them.
Yeah. And then moving down, anybody else
Is
popping?
O'Shaughnessy? I mean, O'Shaughnessy played well for the Jags, right?
I think so.
And then, I mean, O-line, you're building it up again a little bit. Um, I can't. Are any of those guys re-signs? I don't really know. It doesn't say there, but
Some of them are, but
I don't remember where Riley Reef was last year.
I
But
think he was
I
still with the
think
Vikings.
it's
was
his
he?
team. Well, it's his. Well, yeah. I don't know.
But yeah, that's why I don't. I just don't know. But
Yeah. I mean, I don't think
Well,
there's
no, that's the
anyone.
source. That's
Yeah,
the
yeah,
source
yeah,
on the
yeah.
signing.
They
but
just
like he's been half decent,
bring
hasn't
back
he?
their long snapper.
Yeah, I mean that's pretty much exactly how you describe it.
Yeah.
But it's just.
Defense, like no additions, which is crazy considering how many guys they lost.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. I just think that's just
I think they just want to be bad.
and hey, they're probably gonna do it. I mean,
No,
looking
I
at
mean,
this.
who knows? Maybe they fix some stuff in this draft right here with some of these defensive guys. But
Ooh, anybody popping out on it? Like, I honestly don't recognize any of these names.
so I know a few of them. I mean,
Give
the
us
DBs I
names.
don't really know much about there at the top. I mean, again, Washington has been doing decent with that, so maybe it'll work out.
There's the
But I mean,
second
they
guy
got
though.
killed.
I'm pretty sure from Washington though.
Yeah. That's,
Yeah.
I mean, they didn't have a first round, so they're not getting super sexy. Velus Jones though, I do kind of like. He's a pretty solid receiver. I mean, I remember him playing a good bit. I mean, he is solid. He's not.
Big
I'd
guy,
be
small
shocked if he
guy.
turns into like a dude. Oh, that's a good question. I I don't remember his size, but he plays physical. I wouldn't be shocked if they comped him to Deebo.
Oh, apparently
Yeah,
he's fast.
you got a real bad comp in
That's
terms of
not
like
a
not a player you want
that's
to be
not a
comped to.
confidence inducing
Yeah,
comp there.
I was gonna say I thought he was fast, but I wasn't positive on that. At
Oh
least
my
when I
God,
watched him,
he's 25.
wow, I did not know that. At least the few times I got to see him play, both in person or just watching, to me he always seemed like he played pretty physical.
Yeah, I mean anybody. I mean honestly, I don't recognize any of these names at all.
No, but looking at it and grading it the way you've been grading it, Drew, I do like the positions they drafted for early. I wish they could have gotten another lineman earlier, maybe, in the second instead of that safety.
Yeah,
But
the
other than
I
that,
also the Braxton Jones one could be interesting. You go into a like small school and grabbing a lineman, like were those just scenarios? I feel like it's either like, hey, that you can sometimes turns into a dude because they just didn't get recruited much, and then they come in and they're just trying to prove it and they grind. Or sometimes it's just like, hey, this dude just doesn't have the standard he's, and then they're out like right away. But it's interesting to me.
Yeah, well, it's
But like I said, I mean, we're trying to find things to talk about them for at this point.
chick. That's mean.
Like,
All the Bears fans are crying just because their
I
season's
mean,
gonna be so bad.
yeah, I mean, yeah,
Well,
they can go
I
and
think
cry over this
with how
squall.
we've treated the Bears so far, I don't think it's a shock to say I'm throwing them down here in the Ratbirds section. I mean, I don't think. I think there's a very strong possibility that, like, I just feel like the Bears are doing nothing to help Fields and like develop him, and I just feel like Fields just might be one of those guys that like theoretically could have the talent, but never had any pieces around him early enough to like develop, and he might not be in the league in 3 to 4 years. I don't know.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, sadly, there's a chance he might keep the Ohio State QB trek going, and probably not really any fault to his own.
Yeah, I mean they have two good running backs. They have Mooney at receiver, and like honestly,
Even
that's
that is like sort of though. I
yeah.
like
They both played pretty
Montgomery.
solid last year, though. At
I
least.
like Montgomery for the most part, but I just feel like I don't know. I feel like if you can't get him involved in the pass game easily, then he gets kind of limited,
You can't
in
say
my
that too.
opinion. Yeah, I think Khalil Herbert was good when he had to be, and I guess that's all you can ask. But like, I don't know. I just never felt safe with him going into a game.
Yeah, I mean, where are you putting the Bears? Is this
Well,
your
so I mean,
first?
I've been talking negative about them and stuff, all
Just
that.
somehow
But I
being on
mean,
the outside looking in.
but I'm expecting a big year two from Justin Fields, and I like the Darnell Mooney Pringle, and I think Velus Jones ends up starting for them as well. And then you have Cole Kmet, so I mean, now you're looking at a pretty solid off. So I mean, probably a playoff team.
Solid offense.
No, I
Imagine.
mean, they, this team could be better than we're all expecting them to be, and it really wouldn't blow me away. But like, you have to put them in Ratford right now. I think.
Jake's first rat bird.
No, I had someone in Ratford.
No, I thought you literally said like last pod. Like, I've never put anybody in rat bird.
No, no, no. I haven't put the same. I've never voted. The last part I said was the first episode where we didn't put a single team. A single team didn't get a single vote. And then the only teams I put in Ratford, you guys didn't. I had the Panthers in Ratford.
I was gonna say the only team you maybe put in there was Panthers. Yeah.
Yeah, it was the Panthers I put in there.
Dude, the Panthers are so much better than the Bears.
Yeah, I mean, should be. Yeah,
Yeah.
but the difference is level of competition you're playing in division.
True.
The Panthers are more there because I think they are a class below almost everyone else in their division, with the exception of maybe the Falcons. But I personally think the Falcons are better this year.
Arjuna,
The Bears are in a trash division and trash.
No argument for me.
Yeah.
They are welcome in the Ratbird tier. I think the defense is going to outperform because I really like their new head coach, Matt Eberflus. But other than that, nothing remarkable. What?
I just make fun of the name. I can't ever say it.
Eberflus.
It's Eberflus. I don't know. I will say though, looking at this team's roster, has me a little more optimistic than I was coming in.
Bears are a top 3 worst team for me this year.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
probably agree.
I think
mean,
that I
should
think
be.
they're a bottom 5 team for sure.
I think they would exceed my expectations by getting the 7th pick in the draft. Like that. Like that's how bad I think they're
Yeah.
gonna be.
I would
Dude,
be absolutely stunned if they're not in the bottom 10.
I mean, honestly, like their Copium take, I would think, is like, yo, imagine they win like 6 games, but still get like the 4th or 5th pick. Like you would be ecstatic if you're a Bears fan, right?
I'm just like looking at the rest
As long
of
as
the
those
teams.
wins aren't just like the Lions and the Vikings.
I'm looking at the rest of the teams left, and I'm just like, they like honestly might even go up to like top 2. Like it just seems so bad to me. I mean, I'm not looking at the rosters like I think you guys are, but like,
Yeah.
where's the value? Like, what do they have going for them? I don't know.
What I think could save them is if Justin Fields takes a big next step, and if that receiving slash tight end room optimizes what they can be. Because like Darnell Mooney can be a 1. Byron Pringle can be a 2. Velus Jones could be something special, Like all of them at their peak could make a decent offense. But it's the Bears, and I'm not expecting that to happen.
Okay, well, let's try to kill this fucking
Yeah.
first team
Yeah.
curse, and let's go to the Lions.
Yeah, let's go.
Dude, Lions are out here
Also,
rooting for
yeah,
me.
I mean, at this point, I saw this. I saw that they lost basically no one, and I've kind of decided that they probably just have to be a contender off that alone.
Oh. I mean, I don't even.
I mean, you can't bring that much back and not be
I
successful.
bet Trey Flowers has been with the Lions forever, no?
No, I mean a couple of years, but he was with the Patriots before that.
But yeah, do you guys recognize anybody here? I really don't. I don't recognize any of these names.
I recognize Hodge, but
I mean, Trey Flowers not being on another team really just shows how bad he was when he left that Patriots defensive system.
No.
I
Like
recognize
he fit well into that scheme and just didn't on the Lions.
I recognize the Kadale Hodge guy, but I really don't know why.
I'm gonna laugh when he's from Florida.
He isn't. Maybe that's why.
Prairie View A&M.
I probably remember him coming out because of that. I tend to remember.
Oh, I kind of vaguely
on his
remember him
receivers.
actually with the Browns. That was the jersey he had on.
Yeah.
Okay, let's
That's
go to
probably
their
what it
additions
was.
because that's the only thing. Couple backup. I mean, DJ Chark's the big.
Yeah,
first
Chark
big
is
name.
the. I mean, he's the. I mean, he's the addition. I think in terms of new additions, they re-signed a bunch of people, but I mean, honestly, I'm looking at this
For a team that had no receivers, I mean, okay, they get a okay receiver that needs to really prove that he can be good if he wants to make any type of money, and honestly, if he wants to stay around. In terms of like that relevancy of like a 1 or a 2, like this is the year he has to play well with Goff.
Yeah. I'm not the biggest golf guy, which I'm hoping about
Why?
plenty of times. Something's very good.
Ooh. Is David Blau better?
Maybe,
Oh no.
maybe. Yeah, I mean,
No,
golf.
no, no. Tim Boyle, TB12.
So this is what I feel golf very similar to Baker in that whole like you can win with him, but he doesn't make your team better. Except the difference with golf is I don't think golf's tough like Baker. Like Baker will fight through stuff
Ah,
and
he's a
like
real
do
Derek
that side of
Carr.
it. Yeah, to me, golf is what Jonah thinks Derek Carr is.
That's fucked up, Jonah.
Maybe that's an unfair take on golf. That's just kind of how.
I think the
I don't
unfair
think I don't
take
think there's
was what
anybody in
Jonah
the
said.
world really defending Goff.
No,
Yeah, he
yeah.
feels like a soft. He feels like a soft Cali kid.
I mean, continuing down. Always,
Doesn't know where the sun rises or sets.
yeah, it's fucked up. Jonah, you like DJ Chark? Here's your floor.
I mean, I do. I think he's going to be the number one receiver. I think he'll have a solid year.
He better
Nothing
be.
exceptional because he's very limited by the team around him. But
Yeah.
it'd be nice to see him get. I mean, it's no better than Jacksonville was for him.
As good as not good as the receivers are for the Lions, I feel like they're like 4 times better than the Bears. Just to keep shitting on the Bears. Like,
Yeah, they got the better St. Brown brother.
yeah, like I mean, I'll stop with my bear slander. I'll stop. I promise. Until later.
Will you though?
No, probably not.
Till the next
I mean,
team,
I
and
also
then
definitely like their tight end better.
Why do you say that?
The Lions.
you're talking about Garrett Griffin, the guy they signed.
Yeah. Why do you like Gary Griffin so much, Jonah? You don't like GG? GG go next? That's what we're doing. We're gonna keep going.
Sorry, I just realized Devin Funchess converted to tight end,
Yeah, I
and
was
that's what
looking
I
at
was
that
talking
too.
about.
Oh, I didn't know that. Did he really?
Apparently,
Yeah,
but he's like
he's
fourth
the
on their
fourth.
depth chart as of right now.
God, he's trying to cling on to the
He's-
league.
Yeah.
I mean, no, that's like a you're not making it type thing.
Well, I mean, Logan Thomas went from quarterback to tight end, and he's still kicking.
Yeah, but Logan Thomas was a fourth tight end.
Oh, well, he hasn't worked his way up yet.
That might be fair. I don't know when this transition happened. I didn't even know it had happened. So,
Dude, what?
Didn't
um,
Funchess like get cut for like in preseason from the Packers last year though?
probably I don't remember. All right, wait. So is anyone else we want to talk about on this offense? Does anyone know anything about the Evan Graham guy? I don't know.
I know nothing about this whole Lions team.
No.
Defense, I think is. I mean, some good re-signing, some booming back guys type stuff. Jared Davis was you got my remember he was with the Lions. They drafted him, but he left to go to the Jets last year, and then now he's back.
Damn, it didn't work out in New York. He won
I'm
a
not sure if
dog.
it didn't work out or if it was just like he felt the need to. I think maybe he just wanted to go back type thing. I don't really know, but I mean, I think he's a solid re-signings to bring guys back. I mean, Alex
Yeah.
Anzalone and Jared Davis probably running that defense. Hashtag go Gators.
The only thing I will say about re-signing guys is I just like the culture that's kind of being built up right now on the line. So I mean, bringing back guys and keeping them in and building it from the ground up, I guess I like. But
Yeah, and it doesn't look like they like paid anyone crazy either.
no, none of
So
these
that's
guys
the other
are
thing. It's
huge
like
names.
you're gonna have money, and if these guys are playing well for you on this lower end deal, like you chilling.
Yeah. Okay. Let's jump over to the draft. Where are they? Oh, they're above the Bears, as they should be.
Yeah, I mean they drafted.
They had a good draft.
Is it? All right. Let's talk. Well,
Just based on the first round alone.
yeah. I mean, they get as most people would arguing the whole pre-draft process, the biggest floor guy, Aiden Hutchinson. Everyone just thinks he won't be bad, but they don't know if he's gonna be great, which is still very wild. I don't know. I never got that take. I mean, I never got it. I never got this concept of like between the what was the Georgia guy's name again?
Trayvon
Trayvon
Walker.
Walker.
The argument was just like, oh, Walker's got all the upside. And I'm like, well, how does Hutchinson not have upside? Like, how is he as good as he's gonna get? Like, I just never got that argument. But I mean, maybe you could talk on that a little bit more, Jake, because you're in that
Well,
game.
so I think the easiest way to explain it is via recruiting in college. So like coaches know like, yo, if you're getting like getting a kid out of Texas and getting a kid out of Florida are very different things. And I think it's kind of the similar aspect here with getting a kid out of Georgia versus getting a kid out of Michigan, or just maybe those defenses. I don't necessarily know the reasoning for these two and why everyone looked at them that way, but like as a coach, like hey, if I'm recruiting a big time kid, like if I'm at the University of Florida or Bama or something, and I'm recruiting that dude out of Texas, that dude is coming in basically at his peak in terms of like that kid has been coached extremely well. Texas high school football coaches are paid like 6K figures. Like those coaches know what they're doing. They're as good as most college coaches. Like they almost any top tier Texas program could coach in a college program and be fine in terms
Did
of
you
the
just take
coaching
a shot
aspect.
at Florida's development?
No, what I'm saying is in Florida, the kids are coming in and they're lost still. So that's why Florida's recruited so heavily. Is like if those kids are the same as good as the Texas kids coming out of high school, but the Texas kids basically peaked. He's been in a good weight program. He's had money around him. He's had food around him to help him grow and develop as an athlete. The Florida kid might be eating peanut butter and jellies for lunch, breakfast, lunch, and dinner, and hasn't been in a real weight program and has been being coached terribly, basically. That's why Florida is so heavily recruited is you're getting these athletes that are like competing with these kids in Texas or whatnot, but they've had no development poured into them practically compared to those Texas kids.
There was like a blank
And that's
canvas.
yeah, and that's kind of the thought process. It seemed like on how they looked at these two guys. Is Trayvon Walker was more there was way more to move around and grow there versus Aiden they felt like had almost peaked in his what he had been coached into doing. Like he was so technically sound that it's like, are you gonna make him any better once he gets to the league? Which I think is a little dumb because like you're not really drafting guys in the league to make better, especially to me those super early picks. But to me, it's like you're going for surefire guys. But that's the easiest way I can comp it. But
This
like,
feels
what
like
is
the Jadeveon Clowney Khalil Mack discussion. Like the guy who showed like athleticism and crazy bursts and stuff in college got drafted number one, but the guy who was just gonna be good no matter what was drafted two.
And honestly, I would argue
well,
that that
Khalil
hasn't
Khalil
worked out.
Mack went 5, didn't he?
Yeah. Well, I guess
Did
generally
he?
just
I'm pretty
I thought
sure.
he did.
Oh, I thought it was two.
But we're
Yeah,
I
I'm pretty
mean
sure it's
they
5.
defensively wise,
Um,
I'm pretty sure we're the first two
the
picks,
first
maybe.
and second, I think. I
Yeah.
think I'm not positive. Yeah,
Yeah.
but but um, yeah, like just to comp because I'm sure no one knows this basic. Like I was saying, Texas coaches about some six-figure salary for the head coach. Do you have any idea what a Florida head coach gets paid typically, the average?
Kind of like a $2,000, $3,000 stipend probably.
Yeah, I think like the high end is a 5,000 stuff.
Yeah.
So like your head coach in Florida is getting 5,000 extra to coach football. Your head coach in Texas is getting 6K to be the football coach.
Yeah. I mean it makes sense.
Not 6K, six figures. My
What you're
bad.
saying just makes sense. I mean you're much rather have like if you have two crazy athletes, you're gonna want the one that's not been
Yeah.
not been trained with what you want to do as opposed to someone
Well,
being
yeah, as
trained with
long as
someone
they're
else wants to
even.
do. Yeah.
Like if the Texas guy's way ahead, you're taking the Texas guy. But
Yeah. But I mean yeah, I get what you're saying. It's interesting perspective, I hope, for the people listening.
to me, like we talked about this, the Jags, it felt like, why wouldn't you be taking the safe one right now? Like you have your QB, you're building, you're expecting to be kind of going. Like you don't really need to take a super risky pick right now. It's kind of how you and me felt, I know, at least.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, for
it
the
is what it
Jags,
is.
yeah, I didn't really get the. I mean, I brought it up when we talked about the
Yeah.
Jags, but
And we also talked about the position flexibility aspects of, we talked about that also. But
yeah, I mean, um,
well, wait, are we going over any more of this draft?
well, I mean, yeah, if you have anybody else, I mean, the
Well, I mean,
Alabama kids,
Jameson. So
but he
that's
won't probably play this year.
I'm pulling out. But by the way, that's the receiver you were talking about when you were like, "Oh, isn't there a few episodes ago?" You were like, "Wait, is this the really fast receiver when we're talking about the Texans?" And
Uh,
I was like, "No, that's the other kid." And I was thinking you were talking about Devontae for the Eagles. I somehow just in the moment blanked about James. Jameson's the guy who can fly. He's the guy you were thinking. Devontae can too, but he's the guy you were thinking of
which will
coming
be
after
cool
him
for
and can
them
fly.
next year because essentially they're
Yeah.
gonna have like two first-round picks rolling into
Well,
camp.
and so then Joshua Pascal right there is kind of the same boat. I don't know how he's banged up. I don't know if he's long term banged up or not, but he is a good player. He was, I mean, he was a problem for Florida. I think the last 2 years. I remember like he had some big time stuff he was doing. He is a good player. So I'm pretty sure he dropped a bit because of injury. I think he was a first round projection initially. So like I'm pretty sure that's a big get for them as well. Um, even the James Houston down there. So he's a transfer out of Florida. He was at Florida. He transfers to Jackson State his last season. This last year plays with Dion. And if I remember right, he won Defensive Player of the Year in their conference.
Interesting. Was he just undersized or?
He was a linebacker for Florida and just didn't really fit. There was just stuff, not like bad dude necessarily, but just wasn't the culture they were trying to build, kind of. Um, is what it felt like. Um, and look, it talks right there, like the
Second
Florida stuff, the
team,
problem.
first team,
Yeah.
all team.
Okay. And then it talked about in the overview right there, which is
He
his
means
loans, some
16
of the
and a half
targets.
sacks. That's fucking. I mean, that is pretty crazy though.
Yeah. And he was playing, I don't know what he's playing for them, but like at Florida, he was a linebacker. He was like a micro linebacker. I don't know if he transitioned to D line with them. I thought he was still playing linebacker with them and had 16 and a half sacks. But yeah, you can see he played inside and rush linebacker, so he has experience of both. I mean, he is an interesting guy because as an athlete, he can do he is very talented as an athlete. My guess is his issues were culture and learning the defense would be my guess.
Yeah.
Guess is for why he wasn't successful at Florida.
Yeah. Well, let's jump over here. Jonah, what's the Lions? Where are they making? What are they doing this year? Let's go.
Man, I wish they had a better quarterback.
Oh,
Because I could say something better about the team.
I do. I do think I like the team overall, but
I really do. Like I like the running backs. I don't think the receivers are good enough this year because they're not going to have Jamison Williams. But as a whole, if you factor in the tight end, and I like two of their linemen for sure. Uh, actually, I like three of their linemen. Alapulivate Vaitai, Penny Sewell, and Frank Ragnow are actually really good.
I don't
yeah.
remember. I might be thinking the wrong guy. I thought Taylor Decker was half decent as well.
I mean, maybe they have four. Maybe they actually have just a very good offensive line.
I mean, that would go into Jake's argument. I'm sure he'll bring up when he ranks him about Swift. Always just his stats getting overblown because he doesn't get untouched. But I guess maybe you put that on the offensive line actually being pretty solid. But where are you
Uh,
putting them? What's stick 'em somewhere to start off.
and I wish I didn't have to do this. They're probably the end of Ratbird.
The
Don't think I can get them into outside looking
Well,
in.
you're saying like top tier Ratbird? Like you're saying like they are the
they're
top of
sitting
your
somewhere in
Ratbird?
that 8 to 12 range in the
Yeah,
draft.
12
Uh,
range.
I just
Man,
wanted to
I wish I could put them
clarify
on
when you
their
said it.
opinion because I really like their roster.
I have a little bit more Copium. I think Swift's
Their
gonna play.
defensive line and their secondary is so good.
Yeah, I think Swift's gonna play a little bit better and help this team win a little bit more games. I mean, they were in like a surprisingly amount of games last year that they just were unlucky and lost a lot
They got
of them.
screwed a lot early.
Yeah, so like maybe they don't get screwed as much and they just make it at the very bottom of outside looking in, sitting in that 11, 12, maybe get 13 or 14 pick. But I think that's the best they do.
It's kind of weird. I'm like pretty opposite of y'all on this one. I feel like.
There's like two. They're not. Don't put
Well,
them in playoff level, please God.
no. I think they're Ratbird, but I think they're like the other side this year. Like I think they are worse than the Bears this year.
I don't know how you could think they're worse than the Bears.
So now
You're the
I
worst.
say that I think they're going to end worse than the Bears, but I think it's primarily due to I think they're banged like they're missing a decent bit of guys that I think would have impact on them for them, and I think they're just a little banged up, and I don't trust Goff to get the job done lacking weapons. Um, I think their future is a lot brighter than the Bears, though. I think like in 2 years, this team is like, ooh, they might be able to do a little something, especially if either if Golf progresses a ton or they get a quarterback. But so like I think they finished worse than the Bears this year, but they are in a better position than the Bears overall.
That's crazy. I'm blown away
Yeah,
by that take.
I just think it's gonna take a little bit for this team to get going. Um Okuda, I think, has shown flashes, but like I don't think he was what you would want out of where he was drafted so far.
No, as of right
Um,
now, he's not the best
yeah,
corner on their team.
Yeah, and like their linebackers, like I love Anzalone. He's a Gator. I'm always gonna.
It's
But what? What are you gonna say?
I was gonna say it's I can't. It's his name is so hard to pronounce. Oruwariye, whatever.
Yeah,
Aquara
Outplayed
or
him.
whatever.
he
Julian
played
Aquara.
well, like really well.
Oh,
He
oh, you're
played
talking
really
about
well. The 6 picks. Yeah,
you're talking about
the
the
guy
corner.
opposite
My bad. My
Okuda.
bad. Yeah, yeah, yeah. So like, I guess I like their pieces. I think all their pieces probably need another year to develop to be what they need to be
But you don't think
on
they
the
could?
defensive side.
You don't think they could just run the ball and play pretty solid defense and like win a couple
Well, that's what I'm
games?
saying. I think their defense needs another year of playing together slash kind of getting everything going, and developing before the defense is what it will be. And then I think off. I mean, I've told you, I'm not as high on Swift as others. I don't think you can just rely on Swift. I think he is to me, he is like the ultimate gimmick running back. But if he's on a good team, or if you're just losing, he's going to put up stats. Like he's going to do all that.
I will say though,
But
I think Jamal Williams is a good second fiddle for him.
I agree because Jamal Williams is that more power runner type thing and everything. And maybe that's the same. Maybe I'm underestimating Jamal Williams' impact. That could easily be true. Like I wouldn't even argue that. It's like, but that's just kind of my thought. Like not having Jameson hurts. I mean, anytime you have two first round picks and one of them's just not playing, it hurts. And
Well,
then I forget about Pascal's scenario, but there's a chance he's not playing either the whole season as a second round pick.
it didn't say anything about
So
him being hurt.
Pascal,
Yeah, I was reading
I know
this.
he's injured right now. I just don't remember how long his is supposed to be.
Mm, but well, I mean, any closing thoughts on the lines before we finally move into maybe some more interesting teams?
All right, so apparently he had a surgery for a sports hernia in the spring.
Oh, but he'll be fine by the time the season
Yeah,
ends.
so he's probably going to be fine. I
Well,
mean, there's
they
still
currently
risk of
don't have a
stuff.
timetable
Yeah.
Ooh,
So I mean,
as of
hernias
4 days ago.
sometimes
So
can be struggles a bit. Sometimes it just doesn't go as smooth as you want it. But yeah, that's my semi-bold take on the Lions. Is I think they finished worse than the Bears this year, but their future's a lot
I'm
brighter.
I'm
okay.
sad Jake and I dragged him down out of outside looking in.
Poor Dan Campbell. He just wants to win so damn bad.
I like Dan Campbell too.
Fight all your kneecaps.
Jake just doesn't
Even
think
it,
golf is tough enough.
I mean, yeah,
Okay,
yeah,
let's stop with the slander. Let's move on.
he's my Derek Carr.
Oh no. At least your Derek Carr's like makes sense.
Yeah, I know, right?
Jonas Derek Carr.
Doesn't really.
Hey, hey, Derek Carr is the only quarterback that I know of that the NFL players bash for being a pansy.
Ooh, different word this week.
I don't know. Michael Thomas, I
I don't
feel
know
like
what
got some of
pansy
that.
means.
Yeah, I feel like Michael Thomas, some people got for being mentally weak when he got in a fight for being called slant boy.
Yeah, but
Slant
that's not.
boy.
I meant the quarterbacks. I mean, you
Oh,
extended it to
well.
all the players, and I'm sure it's
Wait,
happened
do
multiple
you
times.
really think he's the only QB people consider soft?
That I've heard
Dak
quotes
Prescott.
from NFL players who just were willing to publicly say that.
Oh, okay. You're saying that would public. Okay. Because like I've heard a lot of people talk about QBs they thought was soft, like where it's like, yeah, guys in the league think this type thing, but not. But I get what you're saying, not publicly, openly saying.
Okay, let's move to the Packers. We've talked at nauseum about Devontae Adams, and we talked about the Raiders. I mean, it's a huge loss for the Packers. It's not shocking. Let's continue to their
I mean,
stint of
almost as big
losing
as envy.
receivers.
Almost as big as envy. Yes.
Yeah, we're not gonna talk about St. Brown. He's on the Bears now. Cool for him. But they
He's
do
in
lose
division. He
MVS,
might be
who
the
we've
biggest.
also talked about him. I mean, I do think I think the combination of him and Adams leaving what's even worse. Like it just makes a bad situation even worse for them. Like their receivers are just, and I think it's another representation of like how the Packers have just dropped the ball the last like 5 years with Rodgers. Like to lose two good receivers for your team, and then just like you guys just have no strong backup plan because you pick Jordan Love. I mean it's on the Packers. It's on the organization at the end of the day for me. I don't know. What do you guys think about the losing all these receivers at one time? Can they?
I mean, I don't know.
On that Jordan Love front, the next two wide receivers drafted after Jordan Love was drafted were T. Higgins and Michael Pittman Jr.
Oof. Oof.
No,
So,
I didn't mention that.
and then Chase Claypool, a couple more receivers down. Yeah.
And I get that, but also, like, are we really saying that we feel like this receiver room is good if they have any of those guys?
If we were
If
adding
they have
Devontae
T. Higgins,
I'm just-
Okay.
all right, all right.
All right.
Yeah,
I see what you did
There's
there,
just
little guy.
there's just like the deadpan was just too good.
We can't
Yeah.
tell, bro. You say some wild shit on here.
What do you mean? Jonah's AFC West is just as bad as my AFC South.
No, but Jonah's got, but Jonah's got one wild. He's got the one wild AFC West stuff, and you have sprinkles littered through every podcast.
Yeah, my goal is one an episode.
Man,
I
all
want
shit was
someone
just
to. I'm saying at least one. Sorry.
one. Oh, at least
I
one.
want someone to spit out their drink at least once an episode from a take I have.
Oh, that's good at least. Well, let's keep going. Dennis Kelly, he was good, wasn't he? Am I tripping? Am I thinking of the wrong guy?
Dude, I'll be honest, I don't remember like any of these linemen. Both like I'm looking at their roster right now and these guys that left. And like I remember two of them. Three if I'm but two of them for more good reasons.
Well, let's jump down here to Zadarius Smith then. I mean, that's their biggest defensive loss for sure. I mean, yeah, it's just a big loss. He played like pretty well for them. Oh, I didn't know he only played one game last year.
Yeah, he was hurt.
Bang.
That's what it was. Is that it was like they cut him too. I believe, right?
Uh,
I believe they cut him because they didn't trust paying him again.
I know this. I'm unsure if I'm honest.
I mean, but man, that's still wild though. He just gets hurt, but came off 13 and 12 and a half. Like, whew. So yeah, I mean, that's a big. I mean, God, they just. Packers are. I mean, I'll get to them when we hear them, but they're an interesting team for sure this year. Anybody else on here before we jump into additions?
No.
Not really. Normally I try to find something, and I had almost nothing on that.
That's a shame. Well, Rodgers signs the contract and then sees his receiver shipped out like a week later. So, you know,
I mean,
he's
so
got,
this is probably the least relevant thing they did. In the
yeah,
offseason.
he's got money. Lazard is got the second round tender, but to my knowledge, unless he's done something the last few days, he's still holding out. I don't know if you
I
guys.
don't know.
If you
That's
guys,
interesting.
what
I
do you
didn't
guys-
realize he was holding
I
out.
thought he
Yeah, I
was.
didn't- I
He's
know.
either holding out or he's doing kind of like the Deontay Johnson thing with the Steelers, where he's at camp, but he's just not participating
Not happy.
in most.
He won't talk to them.
No, I think he's talking to him, but
No, he does. Like I'm saying, he goes out practice and he doesn't talk to the coach. He doesn't say a word.
well, I don't think that's true. But
It'd be funny though.
at that point, it's like, why are you even going?
Well, I mean, you can still practice. You can run every route, catch any balls, talk to the QB. Coach acknowledges you, and just walk by them.
I mean, I think at the point now in the NFL in general, we're like at that point where everyone knows when that stuff has been happening last
It's like
few
a
years.
business
It's
stuff.
business.
They get it.
Yeah.
I don't. Honestly, I think half the time the players and coaches probably talk about it, and the coaches are like, "Yeah, this is dumb."
Yeah.
I think most of the time the coaches are probably on the side of the players. Most of the time.
And then they, as Jonah keeps looking up, they.
Yeah, I think he signed the tender. I think he just skipped the voluntary workouts.
Okay. So
I mean,
yeah, I mean they have Lazar, and then they.
he's
pair
not
him with-
expected to have a big season for them or anything. He has no reason to be there trying to get
Yeah.
Yeah, and then they pair him with the true Lizard King, Sammy
the
Watkins.
Lizard King.
You know, pick him up week 1 in fantasy so he balls out for you, and then drop him.
No. What are you talking about?
What do you mean?
You trade him
That's true. If
at
someone
peak value.
trade him to a fellow Lizard.
Yo,
King,
in our league, trade him for like a 11th round pick. After that week 1, after he drops like 40.
God, I hope no one would do that. But I mean, yeah, he's good. Helps their receiver room a little bit. I don't think it's enough though. Anybody else want to say? I mean, like,
They re-signed Tanyan, they re-signed Campbell, they re-signed Preston.
Campbell was pretty important, especially since
Yeah,
they.
these are all.
I mean, it's
these are all
a solid
big,
deal it's a solid team friendly deal. It seems like.
but like they just for the most part, it was the important stuff he has re-signings.
And this is my thing with they sure up all their good defensive signing, like re-signings. They also get Jerry Alexander to re-sign. But for me, it's like I just feel like they've dropped the ball so bad with Aaron Rodgers. It's like you're re-signing all these defensive guys, and Rodgers, who fucking knows, man? He could go this season and just be pissed off the whole time because he has no one to throw to. And like Rodgers, I could see Rodgers getting pissed off one year and just being like, "I'm done." And then it's like you have this. Go ahead.
The good old Andrew Luck.
No, I was just saying, it feels like the Packers are trying to do what the Patriots are doing, where they're just like, all right, we'll give you some scraps at receiver, but we're going to invest everywhere else. Tom Brady can't make an impact on the defense, so we're going to invest in the defense. We trust him to make bad receivers good, or like the okay receivers better. I feel like that's what they're trying to do with Aaron Rodgers now.
I have a weird feeling that their vibe is kind of like, yo, it's Aaron Rodgers. We don't even need great receivers. Like, it's not worth the money. If you just have a bunch of solid guys, he makes them play great by being him. I don't know. That might be a copium thing. I don't know.
I agree. I'm not saying it makes them good. It's that they're right to do this. I'm just saying it feels like that's what they're doing.
If that's what they're doing, it seems so stupid. Because Rodgers, as good as he is, I mean, I think he's the greatest quarterback. Like how he plays, his skill level is the best he's ever played. But he's also had, I mean, unless Devontae Adams shows us something new this year, Devontae Adams has been one of the best receivers of the last 3 to 4 or 5 years, paired with the best quarterback. And I think that's why there's so many of these other receivers that have played well. Because Adams he's scoring touchdowns with 3 people guarding him. Like, of course you're gonna have chances if you're Lazard or MVS last year or Big Rob Tanyan. Yeah, I think they're gonna struggle on offense this year. I mean, I'll jump the ball a little bit. I don't know.
I don't know. Like, I've never seen them really struggle on offense.
But you've never seen them without Rodgers and Adams.
Well, I mean,
except for when they had Jennings and Jordy.
Yeah, old Jennings and a semi-busted Jordy.
What? No,
back when they won the
Super Bowl.
I know. So when they won the Super Bowl, Jordy was straight, but wasn't Jennings was still pretty old at that point, wasn't he?
He was older. But yeah, Jordy was like brand. I mean, that was like one of his first few years. I'm pretty sure.
Now Jordy Nelson went on to. No, that's not right.
And then Jordy played great.
Greg Jennings went on he left in free agency and then came back and still was solid and then retired.
Ooh. I mean, okay. Let's save some more of this talk when we tier them. Let's jump over to their drafts and just. I mean, they had 2 first-round picks. I'm sure you know 2 Georgia boys, Jake. Let's go. SEC boy, let's go. Tell me about them.
Yeah. I mean,
Jake, last name check real quick. Is that Walker related to his teammate Walker?
Oh my God, he probably is.
I believe no.
Oh fuck. Is he
Walker's a lot
is he related to the other Walker down there in the 7th round? The lineman? Maybe. Oh, you're right. Yeah. Oh.
I mean, maybe they're all related. I mean, if you go far enough back, aren't we all related?
You're right. That's what you were saying earlier.
Yeah. Quay Walker, I remember a lot more than Devontae, if I'm honest, in terms of what he did against the teams and the games I watched. I mean, I think they're both good. They're both good. Devontae, if I remember right, is like a true nose.
Yeah, seems like it.
Which is what I feel like they haven't had it one since discount Belichick guy
though.
Hasn't been there.
Maybe he is. I don't know.
Well,
was it BJ Raji?
Yeah, BJ Raji.
Yeah. If we scroll down to his comp, it's not great. That is a very lackluster comp for a first-round draft pick.
Malik Collins.
He was a 4th-round pick by the Cowboys who had one halfway decent year, got paid by the Raiders, and I think he's on the Texans now.
This is bullshit. How does the NFL Network slip a Cowboys reference into this fucking podcast? This is bullshit.
I genuinely wasn't gonna make one this episode. It just happened.
You should have told me
this one was actually natural.
I wouldn't be so fucking mad. I'm pissed. Sad.
I mean, the take here is, hey, both these guys played good for Georgia, but the kind of anti-take that you don't want as a Packers fan is like, were they overdrafted because they were on a defense filled with stars, and maybe neither of these guys should have been first round picks in reality.
Yeah.
Because like this is kind of the same thing that happened with LSU 2 years ago when that year they popped off and won it. Is like they had like 9 dudes drafted on defense or whatever, and they had so many drafted on offense. And like Burrow and Jamar have been balling up, but like some of the other picks haven't been, especially the defensive guys, have not been what people expected coming out. They just haven't been quite as good.
Yeah, that's a good
Um,
point. But they are joining a good defense, so which will
yeah, and
hopefully help them.
that's why like I mean, and like I said, that's the negative take. That's like if you want to look at the most pessimistic
I
option,
will
I
say too,
think.
I feel like the Packers have not had a good in. Does Quay Walker play inside? I'm guessing.
I thought he was outside, but I might be wrong.
The depth chart says inside.
Does it?
Yeah, because I feel like they literally haven't had one since AJ, ended up leaving the Packers. And that was a fucking brick ago. So I feel like, and then I feel like that's when
Oh crap.
because that was the
Was
guy
it
that year when they
Martinez? Who was it? They had one a couple years ago. They let walk
yeah
in free agency.
Martin yeah, and he played okay, but I mean like, and that was what I'm saying. Like that year they picked Love was the year that all the fans were like receiver or linebacker because they could have got Patrick Queen. I'm almost positive.
Yeah, I believe they
And
could have.
they didn't, and they picked Jordan Love. So I mean, I'm just gonna keep bashing the general or front office as much as I can. So I mean, they replaced clearly the 1-for-1 Devontae Adams replacement, Christian Watson from North Dakota State.
I'm intrigued on this one. I want to see what this guy can do. I believe he's not going in training camp at the moment.
He is currently hurt. He's on the pup list.
Oh, that's not good. Is he on the pup list or is he just like?
No, I think
I don't think it is the pup list this early in the offseason.
That's what yeah.
everything I've seen is that he's going to miss a chunk of training camp, but I don't think they expect him to miss. Like I think they expect him to be good to go come season. Um,
What's his player comp? I don't know. I mean, you're always gonna have
Cooper
weird.
Kupp. It'd be funny if it was Cooper Cup just because of the FCS receiver. Don Trump and them. Interesting.
God, look at that. Shrinks. Father played safety. Thank God. Thank God. Yeah, I mean, he's like a big guy. I don't remember him being like. People were saying he was like crazy fast. I'm guessing since he wasn't crazy fast, that's why he wasn't in the big
Yeah,
boys division.
I think it's just an interesting thing. Like, are people? I don't know. Well, I've said this. I think low school receivers can come in and just be dudes pretty easily. Like, I don't think it's like it isn't like your interior and front seven and stuff. It's harder to come from a small school. Like
Yeah.
skill position, it really doesn't mean much, especially if you're talking offensive side skill position. Like that's like stupid easy.
Yeah. Is there anybody
And by
else?
stupid easy, I mean like in the scale of other guys.
I don't really recognize anybody else.
I'm trying to say no, not off the top of my head. I don't.
Why did
I
they?
mean,
You know why
I
they
will.
had 2 first-round picks?
I don't remember.
I don't know.
Isn't it the Raiders pick?
Oh, you're right. It is the Raiders pick. And that's what they did with
Yeah.
it.
Quay is what they did with the Raiders, right? Um, I also think it's interesting. My guess is they were just like, yo, let's just take some flyers at receivers, see if we hit on a guy with those other two.
Well,
I don't mind that. It looks like they had like 12 picks.
I hate flyers. Oh, you mean for the rest of the draft? You mean?
Yeah. I'm not talking about for Christian. I'm talking about the other two, Romeo Doubs and Samori Toure.
Yeah.
It looks like they probably were like, yo, let's just bring these guys in.
To be fair, every 7th round pick is a flyer.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah. Let's jump over here. Let's start tearing them and I'm gonna go first because I'm not. Actually, do I want to go first? Yeah, I'll go first. I think as much as I.
Oh wait, actually, can I say one more thing real quick
Sure, Jake.
about the like draft
This better
thing?
be
About the
fucking
draft
important.
thing. Well, it's more of just like I kind of want to know y'all's take on this. So you see it right there where it says packages extended they run and not draft. I think that is the most overrated, dumb thing in the world.
What?
And everyone freaking out about the Packers not drafting a receiver in the first round 20 years. That might be like one of the worst positions other than like running back to draft first round. Like you get so much value at those positions in other rounds.
What about Corey
Like
Davis?
exactly. But like my thing is like they're talking about like they haven't
John
drafted a
Ross.
first round receiver in
Oh,
20
that's
years.
true.
Yeah, they've also had Donald Driver, Greg Jennings, Jordy Nelson, and Devontae Adams in that time. Like you've had four great receivers in that exact same time frame. Why are we complaining about when they get drafted?
Yeah,
I just don't get it.
they should
Like
just
no one,
change this to be like.
no one would say that about the Steelers. And I mean, I can't remember when if the Steelers have drafted a first round guy really in recent history or not. But no one's sitting here like the Steelers haven't drafted a first receiver in the first round in X amount of years. Like I said, I don't know how long it's been, but I don't remember you guys drafting anyone super early.
It was probably
Unless I'm just
Holmes or Plaxico Burris.
yeah, like and you guys have had so many receivers.
I mean, Plaxico was
Like
probably drafted 20 years ago.
No, was he
no,
really?
but no, not 20 years
That
ago.
makes me
Are
feel
you
so
sure?
old.
Man, if he was, oh gosh.
Here, I'm looking up. You guys keep talking. Very nice.
But
Uh,
yeah, it
well,
might have been.
are we back to the tier list? I mean, we're in the middle of your opinion.
Well, also, I was intrigued on what's your opinion on that, Jonah? Do you
Sure,
think?
I, you're right. I mean, it's a little overrated because they have had such good receivers. I just think at this point it matters because they really need to fill a void. It's the biggest hole I feel like they have on the roster.
Yeah, my thing is like if you feel like you can fill that void in the second round, fill it in the second round. Like,
I mean,
like
this year was weird because so many receivers got drafted in the teens.
yeah,
There were like 8 receivers drafted or something.
yeah. That was the other thing. Is like I was like, yo,
They
no,
were all gone at this point.
I
You
would
couldn't get
not have wanted
appropriate
them to
value.
take a first round guy. Now, if you're saying like, hey, they should have traded up, like, okay, I guess you can make that argument, but I would never, and I mean never in like maybe in Madden, but I would never trade up for a receiver in the first round. Like that value is not there.
Maybe from Matt.
Yeah,
Yeah, when you have like 6 other picks.
yeah, like, but like in real life, like no, that's such a dumb idea to trade up for.
I don't I agree that is a stupid thing, but I also will again argue that their front office is stupid because the year they needed a receiver or a linebacker, they just punt and pick a quarterback.
Yeah, yeah, like there's stuff like that. Like, hey, why are you drafting this guy instead? Like drafting Jordan Love instead of drafting a receiver? Yes, dumb. But if they take a better pick there and it's not a receiver, then I'm like sitting here like, okay, they just didn't love the guys, whatever, blah blah blah. They felt like they could fill it better later, like
Yeah, I mean,
receiver's just such a deep position.
Just to close off the Steelers receivers loop. Plexico Burris, 8th overall in 2000.
I know I
Santonio
saw it made me
Holmes,
sad.
25th overall in 2006.
Yeah.
The Holmes was the last one.
Mhm. But I'll throw. I think being quicker about this. I think Aaron Rodgers.
Well,
He's
probably actually.
he's just too good for me to throw him in outside looking in. But I'm just sticking him in here in playoff hopeful. I don't like their offense.
Wow.
I think they're gonna struggle. I think they. I mean, like I say, playoff hopeful still could easily make the playoffs as like a wild card team. But I think they're gonna be in fighting for those. Be somewhere fighting for that last 3 wild card spot, which definitely spoils who I think will win the division this year.
Yeah, that's why I said wow, is
But
we
yeah.
now know exactly who you think's winning.
But I mean, what you said, Jake. I put him in order.
All right.
I
Oh, we went
preface it
back to
every
that?
time.
We went back to it. You took it off for the West, and then you said we're doing it again.
I'm pretty sure I did it for the West. We
Jake,
just
do you want to go next or should
talked
I?
about them in different order. I
Um,
always got the winner last. Let me just move the Cowboys up for
wait, did
one
you
more
have the
time.
winner last? I thought you had the Chiefs still ahead of the Chargers.
Oh, I think I did.
Yeah,
I didn't believe that. That's a different Drew.
I put the Chargers up there with the Chiefs, but I was only one.
All right, who's
Um,
going? Jake, go.
I mean, I still think I put them in playoff team. I still think they win this division. But that's probably the only reason I'm putting them in playoff teams. I still think they find a way to win it. So like they are probably bottom of playoff team. But yeah, I think they still probably win the division.
Decide, Jonah. Throw him in Ratbird.
They are easily a playoff team. This defense is good. The receivers aren't exciting, but I think they're good enough with Aaron Rodgers to no problem just cakewalk through this division. They will be probably the 3 seed this year.
The 3 seed?
Yeah.
I mean, you got to think if they're winning the division, they're gonna be
That
3
makes
or
him the
4.
second worst division winner.
Yeah.
I mean, that's not saying anything that exciting.
Yeah.
What?
All Jonah's saying is that the Cowboys are gonna be worse. So like,
Whoa, Jonah thinks I think Jonah thinks the Giants are winning that division.
oh maybe.
He talked with me off air. He came to me.
Wait, are we
Tears in his
spoiling?
eye.
Are you
It was a-
spoiling the future?
He's a
You
weak
can't spoil
moment.
my confessionals.
Yeah,
That's true.
it's gonna be a
My
huge
conventional zone
stake
is
win.
just a window, so I can stare right into your soul.
Yeah.
I can know all your bad takes.
But yeah, so like Jonah, I kind of agree with you on it. Is like my thing is like you don't bet against Tom Brady in general in the playoffs. For me, you don't bet against Aaron Rodgers to miss the playoffs. That's kind of how I feel.
My argument is I'm not betting against Aaron Rodgers. I'm betting against an Aaron Rodgers-less an Aaron Rodgers-less Adams to miss the playoffs.
An Adamless Rodgers, is that what you mean?
No, I like what I said. It made less
I mean,
sense.
it's factually incorrect, but
So what he just said is that the Raiders aren't going to make the playoffs.
yeah, that's what he was saying.
Okay.
Unintentionally, I guess.
I'm glad somebody else came around, in my opinion.
You're right. My bad, Jonah.
Well, I mean, he had them in playoff hopeful as well. I think,
had him
'cause
at
I'm
the
the one
bottom.
that put him in playoff team.
I had him fighting for a wild card spot.
But yeah, I mean, really, I don't know if there's much else to say about the Packers on that. Like
Yeah,
that's,
they're
I think
dog
we'll get
shit.
to move to the Vikings on that.
All right.
Oh my gosh, Wayne Gallman! I didn't.
What a list. They lose Wayne Gallman. D.D. Westbrook.
Low key did not know one he was with the Vikings or two he was still in the league.
We got some guy named Mason Cole. I don't know who this is. Let's go. He's a beast.
Ooh, small hands.
All you looked at was his measurables, and you're just like, beast.
Oh my god, look how many teams he's been on. Oh wait, no, that's just recent games.
That's who we played against
I
last
was
year.
like, oh my
Yeah.
god, how does this happen?
Gets
Oh.
cut every week.
Losing Everson Griffin, but I mean, he's not been picked.
I mean,
The Everson Griffin thing is very weird. The Everson Griffin, Sheldon Richardson, and Anthony Barr not being on teams is very interesting to me.
I think Xavier Woods is on a great. I mean, they've lost a decent.
I'm happy we're keeping you in, Jake. This is what the NFC North does to us, guys. We're doing this for the viewers, bro. We hate this division. What are you saying, Jake? My PSA.
Wait, yeah.
What?
Oh, were you saying that because I was yawning? Is that what-
Yes.
I wasn't even. I didn't even realize. I was like, "What's he talking about?"
And-
Well, I was saying Xavier Woods is also. I feel like a pretty decent.
yeah, but isn't he
Well, I
like
mean,
100 years old?
Yeah, I mean they're getting it, but like these are all guys who still. Playing.
Oh my god, he's 27.
Oh my
You
God.
said this twice.
Whoa.
You said this twice.
Yeah, he did this with the Panthers.
You said this on the Panthers episode.
Did I really? That's funny.
Yeah, this is the guy.
He
this
is
the
100 years
exact
old. Look
guy.
at him. Oh my god, it's because he's with the Cowboys, bro. You never can tell. The Cowboys just age.
That's why I know he's not.
He just ages.
It felt like it lasted forever with
Oh
the
my
Cowboys.
gosh. So funny.
Just watching them waste their career with the Cowboys.
So sad.
Oh.
Let's
I mean, he
just-
was like a 6th round pick.
Let's just so
He,
sad.
he fought tooth and nail to become a starter.
Yes, I mean honestly, he's been having a great career, all things considering. 6th round.
So sad. Okay, Kirk Cousins. Not even. He signs a 1-year deal, but it just fixes his crazy cap number, which is good for the team. Another
This
yawn.
division.
God.
It's killing me.
It's fucking bad. All right, let's fucking roll. Because the tier list stuff will at least be interesting since I have a negative take compared to you guys. Anything big on here? Jesse Davis. I don't know who that is. Jonathan Ballard, Harrison Phillips.
Jonathan Bullitt out of
Jordan Hicks.
University of Florida.
Jordan Hicks has at least been okay at times in the past. But nobody wants to jump on him, so we'll keep going.
I just
I mean, I agree. I
don't
mean, he's
know.
been okay at times.
Like-
There's no controversial take you can have on Jordan Hicks.
I'm getting Zadarius Smith. I want to say Davis for some reason. Zadarius Smith is. I mean, we already talked about it. I think that's a good pickup for the Vikings.
Yeah, if he comes back healthy, I think it is a tremendous pickup.
They re-signed Patrick Peterson, I didn't even know he was still kicking.
Oh yeah, no, he had a solid year. Not like prime
Jake, stop.
Cardinals, but he was solid.
I don't
Stop.
know what's wrong with me. I'm not trying, but it's just happening. Yeah, Peterson is solid at this point in his career, but I mean, limited, just aging.
He's a high end number 2, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd probably agree.
Let's jump to their draft. Oh, another Georgia boy, Jake.
Yeah, this is the one where I would almost fully go on a limb and say that I think he was overdrafted because of the team he was on.
Dude, you're so mean.
Like I just don't.
Look
I
at
don't.
that NFL caliber demeanor.
Yeah, great. He plays with a good demeanor, but he's also going to get caught.
What do you mean?
I mean, he's fast. I'm pretty sure, but
Ooh.
he's gonna. But I mean, just look at the weaknesses and tell me that's like
You ran a
what you want to see
4.37.
from this. I said he's fast, but I'm saying he's
How
gonna
is
get
he gonna
burnt.
get
He's
burnt?
gonna get. He's gonna be facing the wrong direction.
Let's see. Average
But like,
size.
if average size and play strength might be the most depressing thing you can read for a safety.
Ooh, hips and
Like,
feet aren't on the same page. Ooh.
yeah, like
This just continues the weird trend of the Vikings always drafting defensive backs in the first round.
He'd come out a year early, so maybe he's got a more blank canvas than others. What about
well,
that?
yeah. I mean, at this point, I don't know if that necessarily meant. Like, I just think like I don't know. I think he got overdrafted. Probably this guy got toasted quite a few times. This
Ooh,
time there.
so bad. What about
Um,
Andrew Booth? I thought he
so
was.
I don't really recognize this was it. To me, the Clemson DBs have been the trashiest part of that team over the last few years since like Trayvon and AJ left, Mullen and AJ. Um, and even them, I thought they were like good but not great in college. Like I'm still blown away how well AJ Terrell played. I think it's the third podcast I mentioned it on now. So
I mean, he
like
was stellar last year.
I know that's what I'm saying, and I was just blown away. Like I thought the Falcons were dumb. Um, like their DBs just don't normally seem good to me coming out, and then but I mean they both play well, so that's the copium take with this guy is maybe he's going to come in and kind of do it all over again.
Okay. Well, I mean, besides anybody else that might come up on this list that you guys know, I do think it's funny that I just clicked on this guy and it says he was fifth round projected and he was picked in the second round. That's interesting. But okay, nobody really else to talk about here. Jake, you're our
Um,
fucking college guy. If you don't step up
Nick, I
and let
mean
us
these
down,
other guys. I mean,
we're gonna
no,
have to
no
have a
one to
talk
talk
with you
about.
off the pod. We're gonna have a performance review. Yawning during work hours, not keeping
Hey,
up with college
blame that
players.
blame that on the division. No, I'm keeping up, but I just don't think any of these guys are worth talking about. Like I could talk about Nick Muse if I wanted to. Like tight end out of South Carolina was a decent player. Because of Minnesota's room, I don't
I like
know if
that the
he
guy you
makes
can
it.
talk about is the seventh round
The
pick.
seventh round pick. That's probably already cut.
I mean, yeah, very well maybe, but I mean, he
Okay,
was
let's
a
get to the
decent.
only interesting thing about the Vikings. Let's tier them. I'm
Ooh.
throwing them. Fuck.
I mean, you literally have to be throwing them in playoffs.
They're at the bits of the bottom. It doesn't
So
matter
they're
that I'm putting here, but they're yeah, they're at the bottom. I think they might be good. Like Kirk Cousins isn't as bad as everyone always likes him to be. Maybe he steps up and finally wins some important games and maybe can take maybe they split with the Packers and sweep everybody else. Like I don't know. I don't hate the Vikings. I don't think I'm alone on this hill either, but it sounds like this is not where our Tealers will have them. But like
I'll go next.
Dalvin Cook's still good. Receiving core still good. Receiving core is actually very good with Jefferson and Thielen, and then Osborne, who played really solid for them last year. Defensively, I feel like they're still pretty good, and I think they could. They have two great pass rushers with Hunter and Smith now. Like I don't know, I like them. I think this might be the year they
I
can get the Packers.
I agree on everything you said. I really like that defense. Danielle Hunter is very good. Eric Kendricks is apparently the best linebacker in the league, according to what was it, Collinsworth.
Yeah, at least better than Parsons.
Uh, And man,
Jab.
that was unnecessary and wrong.
Jonah, you called Derek Carr a pussy.
Yeah.
That might
Yeah, but
you
we were
might
talking
not.
about Derek Carr. But we were talking about Derek Carr. I just think it's odd that you decided to single out Micah Parsons.
We didn't really talk about the Cowboys much this time, so I was like, oh,
That's Jake's one.
yeah. I was like, I'll give it to
Uh,
Jonah.
I very much like their offensive weapons. I mean, I think Irv Smith will step up this year finally. This will be the year. Their offensive line has some guys. It's okay. It's not spectacular, but I like it. I like Kirk Cousins, but he just has never won anything.
But this is the year.
That's why I'm hesitant. I do really like him. I think he is very talented, but they don't end up winning. And I just don't see a scenario this year where they beat the Packers.
In a game, or you're saying for the division?
I gotta say both, even. Like they might get lucky and split,
You know,
but
I think
they're
I
playoff
think they could
hopeful.
easily split.
They're playoff hopeful, like the middle of the pack.
Okay, Jake.
Um, man, I'm this team. So I'm actually a little bit opposite of you on the defense. Like, I'm not super excited about their defense.
What do you think is their weakest point
I think their weakest point is that, like, is that
on the defense specifically?
I'm watching too much.
Yeah.
That their weakest point. Well, so DB for sure. I don't think Lewis signed good as I
You don't
just
like
said.
Dantzler?
I mean, I don't mind Dantzler,
Okay.
but to me, I think Peterson is getting worse each year, and
I
it
definitely
just
agree.
so like I just think you're getting to the point where like, okay, you have Harrison Smith who I like, you have Dantzler who I am perfectly content with, but probably not as like a one, you know, like I'm probably not like, yo, I'm jazzed as Dantzler being our best corner, and maybe I'm overly negative on Peterson right now. Maybe I'm thinking he's declining faster than he is in my head, you know.
I think he's too talented and too knowledgeable. Like
Yeah.
he's got
And
really good
that's the thing
football
is
IQ.
he knows how to play the corner position so well, and that's why he's lasting as long as he is. But corner is just like eventually you drop off where you just can't run with the guys anymore, and then you have to transition to safety.
I don't think
So
he's at that
maybe,
Richard Sherman point yet.
yeah, Richard. I mean, Reggie did it at one point. Not what's it, Reggie? Yeah, Reggie, right? Nelson, right? He played some corner early on.
Yeah.
Maybe,
Yeah.
yeah. Um, I think really the best case on for the secondary there is Andrew Booth ends up being a bit of a dude, the dude from Clemson. He ends up being like AJ Terrell 2.0 in that sense. And I this maybe I'm being overly negative. I just don't see Lewis on panning out.
Uh,
So then maybe Peterson ends up playing transitioning towards safety during some of
if you
this
just
year.
said you think that there's Copium, Andrew Booth plays like AJ Terrell, this defense is stellar.
Yeah. But that's what I'm saying. Like the Copium is like Booth overperforms what everyone is expecting from him, and he could be a starting corner. Lewis, I'm just negative on him. I don't think he's gonna. And then Peterson can start transitioning to safety this year because they have a second corner option.
That feels like a
And
move that you have to decide in the offseason, though.
yeah, probably, but like he's so smart football wise that like maybe not.
Yeah,
Um, and who knows? Maybe they are doing a like you. We don't know. Like maybe they've been messing with that a little already, and they're just not talking about it.
he's a high profile enough player. I feel like that would have come out if he was getting reps at training
If
camp
he was
at
getting
safety.
reps, if he was getting reps for sure. But I'm saying maybe they're just meeting with him and making sure he knows it more. You know, like he is a guy. He's a vet at this point. He knows what he's doing. He really doesn't got to take those reps that much. Like once it's going to happen, he has to get reps in that week. But it's not. This training camp isn't for Patrick Peterson. You know, training camps for Dansel and Booth and those guys. Like those vets, especially guys
Yeah,
who have really high football knowledge. Like this means so little to them. Um, and then like the D line is solid, but like I'm not like in love with it. I like Hunter. Um,
I definitely like Hunter. I like Harrison Phillips and Dalvin Tomlinson. I think those are solid players.
yeah, I like Dalvin a decent bit. Phillips, I'm eh. Like it's not. I don't think it's a bad defense at all. I just don't think it's a great defense either necessarily, which I feel like you guys were probably thinking it was one of the better defenses. It felt like from how y'all were talking about it.
Probably like a top
I
7
mean, yeah,
defense.
low top 10. Like I
Okay,
could see them being
so
like
then I'm
7 to
probably
10 range.
yeah, we're probably not far off then.
But it's a
Like we're probably
like
not
a
really disagreeing.
top like 8 defense with a really good offense. Like I don't know how
Yeah.
they're not good. Like do you not
Yeah,
like their
probably. I mean,
offense?
I do think they're good. I think they're, which I don't think I said it. I think they're for sure playoff hopeful. I'm debating whether it's like, do I think they're mid to high end playoff hopeful? Or do I think maybe they're like a low end playoff team?
Playoff team.
But like, my issue really isn't anything to do with them on that, as it is more to do with numbers, and that's why I think I leave them in playoff hopeful, but probably high.
We put them at the top.
Ooh, I'm not sure of that.
Okay, we won't put them. We'll put them in front of the
Probably
Saints.
ahead of the Saints, but behind it, like that.
You
That
and your
feels like
fucking
a sign.
Raiders, bro.
I'm
This is making me hate teams. Like I'm rooting against the Raiders this year.
good.
Rooting against uh the Bengals.
Yeah,
Well,
but you
you were
want to do
already
that
rooting against
anyway.
the
So
Bengals.
yeah,
What do you mean? I love the
you
Bengals.
were you were doing
I
that
can't
last
tell
year.
if you hate the Bengals or the Ravens more.
Bengals right
I
now
don't
for
hate the
sure.
Ravens. I don't like this narrative that gets pushed on me.
You did though.
No, I've always respected the Ravens.
That's the
When
biggest copium take we've had on
when
this
did I ever
period.
hate him? I never hated him. The only thing I hated was
When
Lamar.
Lamar was
When
getting
Lamar was
MVP and
being
stuff.
considered a good quarterback. But that's not me hating the Ravens. I just hated Lamar. Or just the narrative around Lamar, not even Lamar.
I don't know. It felt like you hated them a
No, you're
lot.
just fucking putting words in my mouth, bro. That's
I mean,
gay.
me and Jonah both feel that way. Maybe it wasn't what you
Oh,
meant, but
speak for
it's
Jonah.
the
Speak for Jonah.
Jonah. Do you disagree?
Don't talk. Don't
I
let me.
mean,
I
he
Don't.
literally
just
I
Don't.
literally
he
posed the question
yeah
because
he
Don't.
literally just
Don't.
asked. He's like, who do you hate
Don't let
more,
him
the
put
Bengals
words
or
in
the
your mouth,
Ravens?
Jonah. This is bullshit. I won't stand for this
I'll put them in my
horrible.
own mouth. I thought you hated the Ravens.
No, I don't.
All right then.
Anymore.
No, I never hated the Ravens. I never
I don't
This
think
hated
you
year.
them.
can be a I don't think you can be a Steelers fan and not hate the
No,
Ravens.
you literally could ask any Steelers fan. All Steelers fans respect the Ravens. They don't. We don't like the Ravens. But now we have like the Bengals, who are like the little brother, coming up and being annoying, thinking they're all cool and shit. Then Joe Burrow comes back.
Did you hate the Bengals before this year?
Yeah, they've always been annoying. I mean, literally
Okay. No, I
every
know
year
they
for the
have. They
past
have.
5 years, it's like the Steelers and Ravens play, and there's scuffles, like two
hmm
rival teams have, and then you play, and then it'd be like a Steelers Bengals games, and then you have like actual fight and dirty hits and all the bullshit
The only reason he didn't
throughout
like the
games.
Bengals is because they're perfect.
What?
That's a big reason to not
I
like the
said the
I mean,
only
Bengals.
reason you didn't
he
like
was
the
a bit of
Bengals is
a
because they're
fucking
perfect.
douchebag. I mean,
He was a very
Whoa,
dirty
whoa, whoa!
player.
Why are we character assassinating the guy just because he like will cause 4 people to die in their 40s?
well, who was that tight end he destroyed? I forget what team he did it to.
No, I don't remember.
There's a tight
I'm
end.
not,
There was like a play, like the ball went to the right,
I
like
mean,
on the
AB.
right side, and then but no, the ball was like on the right side of the field, and the tight end was like running it out, like across on the left side of the field, and like Burfict just kills him, and
Never
then
woke
just
up
runs
again.
away, and like none of the refs saw it like live, but the cameras
I remember
caught
you're
it.
talking about the tight end was crossing the field.
Yeah, he just
Yeah, yeah.
killed him for
Which
no
I
reason.
again, I mean, I get it. Linebackers are kind of taught to do that a little bit though. I like you teach your guy, hey, blow up a guy driving. If the guy's gonna drive, you blow him up. I think the crazy thing on that one, if I remember, right, is just like that tight end got blown up. Like he got destroyed on that. And I'm intrigued how much of that's on the tight end being a little lazy on that, and how much of it is perfect being an absolute dick. Probably a mix of both.
Why are you defending Burfict?
Oh, no, I'm not. I just said he's an absolute dick. My point being is like linebackers are taught you're supposed like if that dude's gonna cross your face on a drive, hit him.
But I'm pretty sure
You're 5 yards for
play
a
was like
reason.
had already happened.
Yeah, that I can't. I don't remember that one. I'm just
I'd
talking
have to find it.
aspect of you blow up drives all day. That's literally your job as a linebacker sitting like.
Is he even in the league
Um,
anymore?
no, I don't think so. He went to the Raiders and
No, but
then
I think
got
he's at
tired
the
again.
age where it's appropriate for him to not be in the league anymore.
Oh, here it is. I found it. It was the
Um,
Ravens. Oh wait.
yeah. Well, we can't put it up. You can't defame the man.
Defame him.
And now
Ooh,
he's
I
an
was wrong.
upstanding citizen.
The ball
Montez
doesn't.
Perfect.
Perfect is a lot younger than I thought.
He just hits
Yeah, I
him.
mean,
He's
he's
What do you
31.
mean he's supposed to just hit
I was
him in
gonna
the
say 30,
face?
31.
He wasn't even looking at him. The ball. That's fucked up.
Yeah, they're never supposed to. I mean, hypothetically.
I'll show it to you after the pod. Well, let's wrap it up. That was the NFC North. I'm sorry if it felt like we weren't having a good time, because we weren't.
Yeah, I mean, we were.
I don't know. I feel like I had a fun time talking about the Lions.
That's true. Kind of.
I enjoyed most
Isn't
of
it
it.
so
I just
sad to say the
also
Lions
started
were the
yawning a
most
bit.
exciting team to talk about? It's crazy. What
Yo,
the-
I mean,
honestly-
I would agree if I didn't like their roster so much all of a sudden.
Honestly, I kind of enjoy talking about the Bears and Lions a lot more than I did the Packers and Vikings, though.
I think it is because the Packers and Lions, or Packers and Vikings, sorry, they just don't have what it takes, to win it all, unless something crazy happens.
Well, and it's just if other than the obvious moves everyone knows happen, they really were just re-signing their own guys.
Yeah,
Both
I mean,
those
yeah, there's
Yeah, they were pretty much just running it back and hoping everybody gets better.
either re-signing their guys, and then their losses have already been talked about.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's so it was just like it felt like we didn't. I
Yeah.
mean, we didn't even mention Dalvin Cook, did we? I don't think his name was mentioned once.
No, and this is a long pod too. God, this is.
And we didn't mention Thielen. I don't think we mentioned Justin Jefferson, KJ Osborne.
We didn't
name a
mention them
single
by
one of
names because we didn't feel like we needed
That's
to.
bullshit. I brought up
Yeah.
every one of those names when I talked about the Vikings.
Did you?
Check the.
I know
recording.
you went through all the receivers. The only one I
Maybe you have
remembered
to
you
do receivers
specifically
again.
bringing up was KJ Osborne.
What'd you say?
I didn't even. I don't remember us going.
Yeah,
to
because
the
you don't
receivers.
fucking listen, dog.
Dude.
It's
I
just
think
your
I'm just,
world.
and I'm just living in it. That's that saying, right?
That's your saying. Just like you
Yeah.
hate the Panthers. I don't know. We're fucking going off the rails. I'm so tired.
You're falling asleep.
Jake put
You're
a
falling
gun in
asleep
my
with the
head.
head.
I know, and I didn't even yawn as much as Jake did.
I know, right?
Look at him yawning
That
again.
one was
Well,
fake.
Next pod will be a banger. NFC East. Jonah's gonna get ripped. As you see, I've already tiered where all the rest of the divisions will be. So take a screenshot, so you'll know ahead of time. I did this while they were talking about something. There's a good 5 minutes there. I'm pretty sure I didn't say a word because I was just doing this. It
Nice.
started with me putting the Steelers in contenders, and then I did this. Do you like where I put the Cowboys, Jonah, as a little teaser for next week?
I'm just surprised who you have winning.
I probably would shift it one more to the left.
That's who I have winning. Seattle.
I think I'd shift the Cowboys.
I
one
think
to
that's
the
even
left.
more disrespectful.
That's true. Daniel Jones is a beast. Best
Danny Dimes.
So,
That would be a fun division. I think that's gonna be.
God, if you guys have
imagine we're
stick
all over
this
the
long
place.
through this pod, you're heroes to me. And
I-
if you have, you may as well
All of us.
subscribe. You may as well like. You may as well comment. You may as well share. Share everything. Go look at our TikToks. We started a TikTok, so it's linked on our YouTube. So if you want to go look at that and look at fun clips like me yelling at Jake or Jake talking about how the Texans will win, they're on there. Or Jonah calling their car a pussy. They're all on there. So go check that out. Like I said, share it to somebody.
Whatever you do, though, when you share it, just make sure you do not share it to children potty training.
Why?
I don't know. I just.
What?
needed to
What
be
is that?
said.
What is that comment? Well, this is a TikTok because I honestly don't understand.
What does that mean?
What did that
I'm
ever
just gonna
come
pick-
from?
I think I'm just gonna pick a new thing every week and just do a random one. Just whatever you do, do not share it to this group. That's my new thing. I'm Jake, and that's my thing.
Was that a thing last week that I don't remember?
I think I did grandma one week and grandpa one week. Although sometimes I said to share it to them. But I feel like I had to go a little more
God.
outside the box on this
This
one.
is
'cause I've
awful.
hit-
This is a
I've hit
terrible
the-
pod.
I've hit
If
the
you've
core
stayed
bases.
this long to listen to this outro, you're a fucking saint of this earth and you deserve everything you'll ever get in your life because you're the best human alive. Goodbye. Thanks for listening. Jake's the worst.
You
See you
fit in
next
with
week
Watson.
for a good episode. Bye.